Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Well, I took my family, my 3 teenagers and my wife, to St. Thomas for a vacation. And when I booked the trip from my computer at home, it was enjoy sun and beautiful beach by day, gamble by night. And not that I'm a big gambler, but, entertaining. I throw a little bit of money once in a while. I might go to a casino a couple times a year around here, maybe. And I threw a $20 bill in. First night I was there, threw a $20 bill into a slot machine. Next thing I know, the bells and whistles are going off. The place is going crazy. And it shows that at the bottom, 20,500,000 and something thousand quarters I won, which if you do the math, it's 5.1 million or something like that. And, the place is just going crazy. And all of a sudden, the machine's adding up all this money. When it got to about $30,000, the manager came over and shut off the machine. And not just myself, but everyone else was like, what's he doing? Everyone just started, saying, what the heck's going on? And whoever shut the machine off said, well, it's an obvious malfunction. If you look at the top of the machine, it says we're not responsible for malfunctioning machines. And this was obvious malfunction, so there's no bet. So basically, I don't get anything.
They didn't explain to you how it had malfunctioned or why it had malfunctioned?
No. They had no explanation other than, I think at one point, they said that 20,500,000 something quarters was the amount of money that had been put through that machine in the last year. And that's somehow it kicked into adding up what the machine's total was for that year of money, cash actually going through the machine. I think they did tell me that. But as far as why the malfunction occurred or how it occurred, they didn't explain anything to me.
What was obviously, it seems like you were kind of taken by surprise by the whoever was working on the casino floor coming over. What was, when you said that you had called management over, what was their response to this happening?
Well, I had called management because they basically told me, okay, sorry, too bad, and really were just going to walk away. And I demanded that the manager of the casino be present because I wasn't just going to walk away and take their word that, oh, this is a malfunction. So finally, 15 minutes later or so, they actually got the manager of the entire casino, I think out of bed maybe, and to the casino, and he basically offered me $100 and a free meal. And it was an all-inclusive anyway, so the free meal really didn't interest me much, and the $100 really didn't interest me much either. And I think at some point I said, well, how about if you just pay for my trip, 10 grand? And I was told it was $100 and a free meal. And when I said the 10 grand, all these people behind me were calling me stupid because they're like, don't settle for that. You won $5 million. But, assuming that they were right and it was a malfunction, I think at least I should have been treated not like I did something wrong. They almost acted like I did something wrong. So at that point, I asked to call the police. And I was told by the manager if I called the police that I was going to be arrested. But I called the police anyway, and the police came and did a police report and turned it into the Gaming Commission of the Virgin Islands. I've tried to contact the Gaming Commission a couple of times. I really haven't gotten any answers out of them. So I don't know what the conclusion of their investigation, if any, there was. But all I know is for a fleeting moment, I thought I was on Easy Street, and next thing you know, I'm back to work trying to pay for kids' college education. So it'd be really nice if I could get a little bit of money out of them anyway. I think I probably deserve something.
Yeah, definitely. Have you had any contact with the resort company or casino since this event happened? Well,
when I got back from the casino, other than having my slot machine on the desk from a friend as a joke, they sent me an email, the Wyndham Hotel, asking me, to please fill out the survey of how my stay was. So I filled it all out, and actually it was a wonderful stay. I was a celebrity for 5 days because everyone knew who I was. So, Tom Cruise, watch out. I know how you feel, buddy. But anyway, I got the survey and I filled it out, and I really gave them great grades because, the place was wonderful, it was beautiful, and the whole works, but it said any additional comments, and I said, well, yeah, I'd really like my $5 million if that's possible. I got an email back the next day saying, on advice of counsel, they couldn't respond to my email and survey request or response. So, and that's basically the last of it until I filed the suit.
So when you filed the suit, how do you go about filing a suit? Obviously, we're in Illinois, and U.S. Virgin Islands is a territory of the United States.
Correct.
How do you go about doing that?
Well, my opinion is that I booked the trip in Belleville, Illinois. I gave him my credit card information, and as far as I'm concerned, the contract for me to go there was entered into in Belleville, Illinois. And therefore, and the Wyndham Hotel does business in Illinois. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they were here through the internet advertising to go to their place, and therefore I chose to file suit in Belleville, Illinois.
Have you had any response from them after this suit was filed?
No. The suit was filed, I believe, a few weeks ago, and we've sent out to have the Wyndham and the Ocean Gaming Club served with process. And I'm not so sure whether they've been served yet or not.
How long after they're served do you think this process will take? Do you anticipate them taking this to court, or do you anticipate them settling?
Well, based on the $100 offer, I would think that they're probably not somehow think that, you know, they're not going to be willing to pay me anything near $5 million. And quite frankly, I'm not expecting them to pay me $5 million. If they can prove to me somehow that there was a malfunction and that it wasn't due to them trying to manipulate the odds or something, then maybe I'm not entitled to it. Although, God, it was a great feeling for 30 seconds when I really thought I won. I was already thinking about all the things I could do.
You said something earlier about the fact that, sure, I mean, you know, whether the $5 million comes to fruition or not, they still have some of your money, don't they?
Right. And that's my biggest problem was the way I was treated. You know, I've seen casinos work, and even if this was a malfunction, what would it have hurt them to comp me my rooms? I mean, then maybe they could have avoided the whole thing. But my $16.50 in credits are still in that machine when they shut it off. Forget about the $5 million. They still have $16.50 that they've never offered to give me back. That's stealing, is the way I look at it. And I'm just upset the way they treated me. And so, you know, sometimes you get pushed. Even though I'm a lawyer, I'm not litigious. I mean, I was willing to settle at that point for, you know, comp rooms. But they weren't willing to do it, and so now I'm going to make them pay hopefully a little more than just the comp rooms.
So